Welcome to the private lounge, Charlie Mattera. Okay, again, thank you for doing this. I appreciate you. I'll make this the part 2. So we ended the first part of our conversation where you had just moved to Los Angeles. You were here for 3 weeks. You sold your first script to Roger Corman. 3 weeks.
What was it called? Concord New Horizons. They were right on San Vicente, which was funny because I was living right around the corner, and I ran in there and I was like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm here for my check."
I'm here for my check.
Yeah. They're like, Charlie, it doesn't work that way. So
and I didn't realize this, but you had mentioned Richard Roundtree.
Cool guy.
Roundtree. But he died this past October.
Yeah, John Shaft. He was in Bloodfist 3. He played the old wizened sage. So
that was the first script you sold here.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those people who are coming into this podcast and didn't see the first part, I just want to give a little recap of what we talked about. We talked about your past, how you ended up getting in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
I'm putting quotes, a little bit of trouble. Ended up.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. But it was like you were incarcerated for 8 years.
Very bad.
You got out. Just to be clear, you didn't murder anybody.
No. Like I told you before, I just hurt a lot of feelings.
Yeah. You what?
I hurt a lot of feelings.
You hurt a lot of feelings. Yeah. You stole a lot of money.
Hey, that stuff you can replace.
Yeah. So it was the feelings that would. Okay. So you were there for 8 years. You got out and you ended up going back home. You become a bouncer.
I started working the door at a couple of places, mainly for my buddy Matt, who's a big promoter of clubs all over town. And we became fast friends. He lived like 5 blocks from where I was. Ended up working at this place called Heartbreak downtown. Then I was working at the China Club for a while, and Peggy Sue's, and Under Indochine. That was one of the groovy gravy places I was working at. Yeah. It was all like models and artists.
But then what was your friend's name who was like, you should be an actor, you should write a script?
This was a guy I met years later. His name was Al Burnett. I met him through another friend who used to hang out on 83rd Street, and he was an actor also. This guy named Mark Petrarca. And he was like, he worked in William Morris, he was doing it. And, because when I was bouncing, there was all these types around, guys were trying to be actors. And then
wait, how does Jason Bateman fit into this?
Jason I met in the city, bopping around. Somebody said, "Oh, that's my boss. Listen to this." I'm not answering that. It's Saturday.
Oh, you can go ahead if you want.
I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Why is it light? Why is the light?
Because that's my phone. When you're old, you want it to light up so you can see it.
Charlie, you're not that old. Are you really that old?
I got a few years on me.
You say that all the time.
Well, you gotta remember. You don't want to go crazy and blow a gasket or blow out a knee or your back, and that could happen just sneezing. You ever blow out your back sneezing?
You're going off on a tangent here. I need you to go back to Jason Bateman.
I met Jason too. My friend John. What was John's brother's name? Chris and John, the two brothers, both worked at clubs also. One was working at Columbus, which was the famous bar restaurant that Chaz was at the door. Okay. And Paul Herman used to own the place, and Robert De Niro and a couple other people. And he met Jason, and he had said to him, they were at the bar hanging out, and he said, I want to go out tonight. I want to bop around the clubs. And he goes, you need to find my cousin Charlie. He goes, go find Charlie, and Charlie will take you everywhere, and you won't have to wait. No, you just walk right in. So all of a sudden, I forget where the hell was.
Well, because he was a big deal, even because he was a kid actor.
Yeah, he was.
It's not like he wasn't nobody. I mean, he was pretty well known.
His biggest pet peeve was when people used to call him half his sister's name. They're Justin.
Oh yeah,
they used to call him Justin Bateman, he used to flip out on that one. I was,
his podcast Smartless with the other two there, Will Arnett and what's his name, Sean Hayes. Have you listened to their podcast?
No, I'm not Mr. Podcast guy. I really don't. This is more my first experience doing this kind of stuff.
I feel honored.
Jason found me in the city, and for like 2 days of nonstop partying, I took him everywhere, all these places. I even took him to an after-hours club that was downtown, inside of a loft in the Village, that was like filled with bikers and like the half of the Ramones and some of the all the studio musicians in town at 4 o'clock in the morning, they were up, they can't sleep. They would come to this place. Right. And my friend Jerry Adams, who ran the Cat Club the front door. He became security at this place, the Loft. And the secret was you had to come to the door and you had to bring beer or something or whatever. And I used to go to the deli around the corner and get like a couple of cases of Heineken. And I would call from the deli and tell him I'm coming. And then I came in and I brought Jason there. So Jason was, he was this child actor and he's hanging around with these bikers and this.
Yeah, he was probably pretty young. He probably should not have been in them.
And Chris Penn, Chris used to hang out there.
Jeez.
And a lot of athletes.
So when you came to LA, you already had all these contacts.
No, I just knew Jason. I mean, I knew that there was a bunch of New York guys out here, but I really didn't know anybody. And, when you first come out here from New York, you're like a stranger in a strange land, The whole pace is different. Nothing gets done. If you're from New York, it's like, hey, let's go.
Let's go fast.
Where's that thing? I told you, did you get the thing to do the thing? We're like, okay, get it tomorrow, or else that's it. You can't call up and say, hey, boss, it's raining today, and I don't think I'm going to make it. That's a legitimate excuse now.
Okay, so wait, I was thinking about this after our first conversation. I was like, I'm going to ask him a whole bunch of questions because I feel like you have a love-hate relationship with Hollywood.
No, I love LA. I'm a California guy now.
You come across as
No, you don't understand. Okay. I am a bro Cephas now. I would never move back to New York. I can't do it. There's nothing there. It's not happening. There's no clubs. There's no.
It's changed. Yeah.
Well, in the late '80s to the early '90s, man, New York was Dodge City. You could do whatever you wanted. We used to walk down the street 4 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the street, champagne bottles, just walking through the street. Cops would come by and, hey, what's up? They all knew us because they hung out at the clubs. The cops were the greatest back then.
I think it's weird that you knew and were okay with the cops after what you just
I never had a problem with those guys. They were doing the job. I never thought of it as good guys or bad guys. I thought of it as my job to beat them, and their job was to catch me,
I hated cops. I mean, I still hate cops.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But, I think the problem with the police in the country is that they don't really screen these guys and really put them through their paces to find out who they really have, And I think a lot of these guys, the new ones, they hire them right out of, Afghanistan and Desert Storm and whatever. And these guys are half shot still from that. And I don't think it's smart.
I actually think I'm going to disagree with you. I would actually prefer a cop who actually served in the military. I think a lot of these cops don't have an educational background or an experience
or understand the proper chain of command and that kind of stuff. I totally get it, but see, the point I'm making is a lot of these guys are still PTSD.
Oh,
and
fair.
Let's make sure. Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with going to talk to somebody if you got some issues. If there's something wrong with not going to talk to somebody,
that's what I think.
If you got issues, if you're thinking about hurting yourself or hurting others, I mean, you owe it to yourself and everybody else to go speak to someone. But my point is, they got to hire the right guys. They shouldn't just. It's not a 12-week training course.
That's right. And also, there's something about the community. Like even when I was growing up, we knew all the cops in the neighborhood.
That's right. A lot of the cops
lived them, but we knew them.
Well, a lot of the cops who worked that neighborhood lived in that neighborhood.
That's right.
So they knew the players, and they knew the people, and they would walk around. Hey, years ago, they used to have the boxes, and they would have to stop, open up the box, click the thing because they knew that they came by, or they would call.
Right.
They knew they weren't sitting in the car sleeping or something.
Right. Okay, back to you and coming to Hollywood. You get your big break.
See, my buddies come from New York who don't come out here, who have never been out here. It's funny because they always have the 3 questions after they've been here 3 weeks. Charles, you know these people out here? Right. Yeah, I know these people. These people, they're friends of yours? Yeah, some of them are. Charles, what the fuck kind of people are these? And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. You ain't been here a year, man. You're shot. You need to go home. This is going to take too long. You don't have the time. I'm telling you, you should go home.
You tell people?
I tell them it's not for you. As soon as they call me up and tell me they're on Wilshire and Sepulveda.
That's
when I go, or they're on Kahunga,
Right.
I got to stop them right away and tell them, dude, it's not for you. Nothing's going to get done immediately. Everybody's chilling out here. As you notice, people look healthier, look better, last longer. Mm-hmm. We're in the beautiful weather. How you people deal with the 4 seasons, which kick the shit out of people. 4 seasons will ruin you. It's freezing. It's hot. It's raining. It's awful. It's awful.
So what's your favorite part of Hollywood as the industry? And then we can talk about the
when you're doing it. When you're on set. Hey, I worked for Steven Summers. Okay.
Yeah.
I hit the floor in G.I. Joe. I played Snake Eye's father.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. And I never made the cut.
Oh, okay. Really, I've had a couple of those movies.
So get this. You want to laugh. The guy is sitting on my couch hanging out, the nicest guy in the world, Steven Summers. I had no idea. I met him through the guy who used to play the Mummy,
Okay.
Arnold,
I,
Arnold Vosloo.
oh, I don't know his name.
Yeah,
Wait.
he's a South African guy. He played the new Mummy in the Mummy movies, like
Okay. All right.
with Brendan Fraser, he plays the Mummy. And in
Oh,
Blood
yeah.
Diamond,
Okay.
in Blood Diamond, he plays the evil colonel. He's got
Okay.
So a great guy, sweetest guy in the world. So I met Steven through him, just hang around, knock around buddies. And one day Steven calls me up and he goes, and I was in great shape then. It was before I got hurt. And Steven calls me up. He says, "Hey, Charlie, I got some work for you." I was like, "Dude, just because I'm in shape don't mean I move furniture and stuff." He was like, no. He goes, "I'm doing a movie. I got something for you." I said, "Doing a movie? What, some indie thing?" And he goes, "No, Charlie, it's a big movie." I was like, "Well, fuck, Steve, I didn't know." I said, "What are you, editor or something?" He goes, "No, I'm directing the movie."
Oh.
And I was like, "Holy shit, Steve." I said, "I thought you were just some jackass who sat on my couch." He goes, "I'm that also, but I also happen to be a director." He says,
Right.
"I wrote Catch Me If You Can." He goes, "I'm directing G.I. Joe. You know G.I. Joe?" I said, "Oh, you mean the dolls with the guy with the lifelike hair?" He goes,
Oh.
"Yeah." I said, "Cool." I said, what you want me to be an extra or something?" He says, "No, you're going to play Snake Eye's father." He goes, "There's going to be a scene in an alleyway in little Tokyo, and you're all in the alleyway, and you're grubby, and you and your kid are looking through the garbage pails for something to eat. And then your kid goes inside a dojo." He goes, he says, "Can you do it?" I said, "Fuck yeah, I'll do it."
Of course.
So, and so now I don't even know what's going on. He sends me the wardrobe, and it's like, it's not like wardrobe like you go to an independent film.
No,
this
it's like
is
real,
G.I. Joe.
like you're on
This
set.
is a major
You have your
motion
trailer, you're all set.
and I'm like, and I come popping in, "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh, Mr. Mattera." I said, "It's just Charlie. How you doing?" "Okay, stay over here." They're going at it. There's like 5 of them. And I was like, holy shit. So now I show up at the set when they're shooting Little Tokyo downtown. I drive into the Krupas, and I swear this is what happened. They given me this wardrobe in this trailer. They put me in the trailer, and I see the wardrobe. And I hadn't shaved in like 3 days because I'm supposed to be a homeless bum,
Right.
And Steve comes in and he goes, "Why didn't you?" I said, "Steve, look at this stuff." I said, "I'm supposed to be a homeless guy. This stuff is actually clean."
Right.
I said, "This looks like it went to the dry cleaners. It's all dirty." I said, "Where's the clothes at?" So I had my own jeans and I had my own grubby boots. I brought these old lace-up ropers,
Okay.
and they were brown and grubby and knocked around. So we go into the trailer. It was like right out of freaking Chaplin. We walk in there and I said, "Give me that light blue shirt thing." And I put the light blue shirt in and I just looked at Steve and I went, and I ripped the pocket, And I said,
Wardrobe's freaking out.
yeah. And then I said, "Give me the pea coat, the blue pea coat." I said, "Get me the watch cap, and I put it on, but I rolled it in where it was just over
Right.
here." And then I looked at Steve and I was like, I'm starting to feel it. I said, "This stuff is still clean." I said, we walked out of the trailer, we go, and I see him. I says, "Where's the prop dude?" He calls the prop dude over and he's laughing at me because we were friends for like 2 years,
Right.
And he'd never seen me work or do anything. So I'm just
so
winging
cool.
it out there. And I says, "Hey, the prop guy," I said, "You got that stuff? The gunk? It's like mud, the gunk."
Right.
He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Go get it." So he gets it and I rub it in my hands and I put all on my face and my nose, in my ears. I even rubbed it on my teeth, in my hands, all up in my nails. And he's looking at me, Steve, and he's like, "Holy shit, Charlie." I said, "Relax, dude. It's Hollywood." So and he's laughing. And the clothes are still like this. I said, "This ain't cutting it." And there was a giant mud puddle in the crew parking.
You did not.
I did a friggin' swan dive. Everybody's watching. There's like 100 people out there. And I went, cha, 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 booze. And I rolled in it, got all up in it. And then I got up and it was dripping. And I looked like fucking hell. And then I said to the guy, I said, "Get me a pair of those knit gloves, cut the fingers off."
Yeah.
I said, "Get me a box of cheap shit cigars." I said, "So I can put it in here." I said, "And then get me a glass bottle,
Yeah.
put a Japanese label on it, and throw some iced tea in it."
Right.
So he says, "Great." He says, "Okay." And I stick it in my waist and I lit up this friggin' cigar and it's like broken in half, And I look at Steve and I go, "Hey, man." And he said to me, he said, "Holy shit." He says, perfect. So we go to camera. Now it's getting nighttime.
Yeah.
And they got, I couldn't believe it. They spent money. They had like cranes and they brought in 1960s like Datsuns and Toyotas, the cars. And they even had people all dressed out, with the hats, carrying, I forget what they call them, the rickshaws. And it was people hanging out of the windows from those, little Tokyo, those little tight streets. People were hanging out the windows out of the top. It was just insane. They had the rain machines there.
So
So
cool.
now
I love Hollywood. I
they're
love
setting it up. They're setting up the shot. I come over to the side of the camera. There's a bunch of suits. There's camera. There's the tent, the big tent. Oh, there's 300 people running around doing all kinds of shit, you know? And I don't realize the shot, this whole shot is me
Yep.
and this kid. So basically there's about 300 grand going on, 400 grand just for this. And with the rain machine, who knows what that fucking costs. So I'm saying, yeah, right? Well, we don't have the rain machine, you know? Well, it's $3,000 an hour. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, independent film, we'd have guys throwing buckets of water.
Right, throwing water. Right?
Yeah, with sprinklers.
Spray bottle.
You know, we put them on the roof with sprinklers.
Right.
So now I'm standing next to camera, and I sit, you know, I'm standing next to camera, and I get the lump, you know, and I look like, and I'm in my whole bag. I'm just rocking and rolling in my bag, and I see one of the suits guys sees me, and he goes, "Hey, excuse me," and I'm like, "Huh?" And he goes, "You know, you're not supposed to be hanging around here. You know, we're making a movie. You know, no, he don't know. He has
He
no
doesn't
idea.
know it's you.
No,
That's so great.
So he comes over, he goes, really, it's not, but I go, he goes, you got to get lost. I go, "Hey, what's in for me?" You know, I said to him, I got to figure out what's in for me, but, you know, pull out the bottle, you know, wipe my sleeve. I'm just looking at it, doing the whole thing to the guy. He whips out his roll. He pulls out a 20. He hands it to me. I go,
This is a dumbass person on set who has
was
no
probably an
idea.
executive
Isn't it a
producer.
closed set?
No, yeah, but you know, he was probably an executive producer. So all of a sudden, Steve goes, I hear Steve way back in the camera. He's in the tent. Charlie. And I was like, yo, Steve. He goes, "You ready?" I said, yeah, I'm good. He goes, hey, get up in there. They'll show you your mark. I said, you got it, bud. So I start walking away. And the guy goes, who the fuck is that? I said, oh, that's the actor. He says, playing Snake Eyes Father, you know, the homeless bumsy. He goes, I just gave the guy a 20. And Steve's like, Charlie. He's like, Charlie, could you give the guy the 20 back? And I was like, fuck no, I'm keeping it. I said, man, that's mine. I said, I may never work again after this day.
Who is such a dumbass to be on set and not realize that? I mean, I get it because you're so in that
it was
moment
good. I was
as a
in it.
character.
I was just having fun with it. I was enjoying myself. I was like, this is it, baby.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful this is. You know, all this money. And it was me and this little kid and the kid was the most well-behaved kid I ever met. This little kid. We're in the alleyway. And I was supposed to be laying in the muck and the mire by the garbage pails. And the kid is picking through each garbage pail. And he finds a rat. They had a rat, professional rat. The rat was making more money than I was. Because he had hours in. He had all the same hours in. This rat was a big rat. He'd been in a lot of movies, you know, Willard, Indiana Jones, you know, any rat movie.
Right. This rat was in there.
They even had two guys off the frame. When the kid tossed the rat, there was a guy there with a big, giant, fluffy towel and caught the rat. I wish somebody would be there when I hit the
It's PETA. They're not going to mess
if I hit the garbage pails, it fell on my back. Hey, Charlie, somebody help Charlie up over there.
Exactly.
So the rat had three guys, and they had like a thing, and the rat flew in, and they covered him up because the rain machines were gone. So I see them out of frame, and the kid goes in, and he pulls out like some Japanese food, and then all of a sudden you see me, give me that. You got your whole life to eat. Let your old man get a little something. You know, they were trying to prompt me to say something, so I was improv in my own life, and I still had the cigar, and I was still eating it with the cigar in it. So now I worked that night. I can't sleep for 2 days after that night. You know, there was a couple takes all different, this way, that way, this way. I had the camera right here in my freaking face. The thing was this big on a crane. Charlie, you don't mind if the crane goes over your head? Fuck, kill me.
Yeah, all right, it's all good. I'm loving this.
Hey, if you hit me here with the crane and a little blood, it'll look great. So I was down for anything. Didn't matter. So I couldn't sleep for 2 days. Like 5 days later, I get a call at like 10 o'clock at night. It's Steve. And he goes, hey, Charlie. And they're in dailies. They're watching dailies. Okay. And there's a guy in there I took a meeting with 15 years prior. I mean, this is like 12 years into my career.
Right.
And, you know, you get hired and you can't get hired and nobody wants to know you. And he sucks. He's crazy. He's difficult, which means you're good at what you do and you don't take bullshit from anybody.
Right.
That's what that means. So, you know, I get a call and it's like 10 o'clock. And Steve's like, I can hear people. And one of the guys is this guy, Lorenzo de Bonaventura, which is a huge, gigantic producer. I mean, the guy's untouchable. I wish I could get him in a room for 20 minutes and pitch to him all the shit movies that are being made. But I was in the room and I hear them talking and they're laughing. They're hysterical. Charlie, wow. They're like, it looks great. This looks amazing. Holy shit,
Right.
Charlie, you did a great job. And they're all laughing. Hey, good job, Charlie. I hear him in the background. And he goes, look, I need you to go next week, and they're going to dress you out for a wetsuit and some uniforms, because now you're going to be in a one-man submarine. We're going to shoot you in a one-man submarine underwater. And he's like, you're not claustrophobic, are you? I said, I get over it. So I said, I'll get over it. Don't worry about it. So then he says, and then you'll be on the pier wearing your uniform, looking like $1 million, and your son sees you, and now he's grown up snake eyes, and he's got the whole face on. He knows it's you, but you're not sure it's him.
Right.
You know, or he the other way around. He doesn't know if that's your dad, but he knows it's something. He goes, and this is when you got your shit together, like you get your stuff together after that later on. I was like, wow, Steve. I said, well, you paid for this? He goes, Charlie, relax, man.
Wait, aren't you already SAG at this point?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
You know, you figure you're getting what, $600 a day, whatever it was back then.
Whatever it was back then. But yeah, you're getting that minimum.
I gave it away, you know, to keep the money, man. Just keep filming me. Get as much coverage as you can. So I'm jazzed. They sent me down to, I don't know where, it was like Long Beach or Manhattan Beach, to this warehouse, this long warehouse place. And I go in there, and they got costume for miles in there. I mean, I've never seen it. And they're fitting me for a wetsuit, my own individual wetsuit, and this other uniforms, and this long ass warm jacket that you wear on the set when you're freezing, and all this shit. And then about a week and I got paid for the fitting. And then a week and a half after that, bingo. He says, Charlie, studio thinks there's too many characters, that people will lose focus. I said, Steve, whatever, man. We had a blast. I appreciate the opportunity, man. I said, hopefully, whatever I did do, somebody sees it, and we get some more work. Hey, Steve.
Look at this happened to me too. I mean, this is what people don't understand. We work on a film, and then they cut us. You know?
When I got off the phone with him, I was like, freaking out.
I mean, so you did all that work, you got paid for all that time, but you ended up not in the film.
Nobody ever see it.
Yeah, and the same thing happened to me too. I was in a big time movie, same kind of thing. I ended up getting cut, and it sucks. I was not as gracious as you. I had to.
Believe me, that's been a lot of my problem. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, and always at the wrong fucking time. Yeah.
That's key.
Well, it's like sometimes, and I've heard through my whole career, I got hurt. After me and my wife got married, we rented a house. I got electrocuted in the freaking house. I was walking
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I was walking around like this.
Oh, no. What happened?
What do you mean I couldn't walk. My whole face, I was like in the hospital for a week. And I'm telling my wife, don't worry, babe. Everything's going to be all right. And I'm drinking the water, and it's just falling out the side of my mouth.
Okay, wait. Stop doing that. Wait, but what do you mean you got electrocuted?
We were living in a house off of Pico. I touched an ungrounded, literally unwired garbage disposal with a wet hand.
Oh, my
hand
God.
was wet, and I was literally.
Was it immediate? You knew?
Oh, get this. I flew 8 feet in the air, and I hit a stove in the middle of my back. And when I hit the ground, I curled up like my whole face. I could hear everything. I could see everything. I couldn't speak, and I couldn't move. But my body was convulsing like.
For how long were you in this situation?
All I heard was this in the background. Because where I lived on Pico, the fire department was literally like 3 blocks away.
Right.
There was a helicopter over my house. Okay. And I just finished doing that stupid reality show, House Husbands of Hollywood.
I can't believe you did that, actually.
Well, no, I was broke. What was I supposed to do?
No, I'm not making a judgment. I
didn't even want to do the show. I thought of it, and it total fluke. The guys are home, they're doing, and the women are at work. And my wife was like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It'll probably sell in 5 seconds.
Right.
And then we went into Fox. Right. 5 seconds, they were like, this is a show. The guy was a game show producer, and he had buttons on his desk. One was the, and the other one was the, and he told me when I came to the office, you don't want to hear this button. And he hit it. And as soon as I pitched the show, inside of a minute, he went and hit the button. I heard, I said, that means it's paid time, don't it? He goes, yes, it does.
So you got paid. Okay. No, yeah. There are people who've done worse.
It came out of left field. They came out, and the guys who were on the show, God bless them, they weren't the most engaging and, snippy, snappy. Me, you could watch me in your sleep. You know what I mean? At least I keep you laughing, And if somebody does something stupid, I'm going to call them out on it.
So wait, so you turned around and you got hurt.
Yeah.
That was before.
No, I got hurt. I did the show. Everything was coolio. We left the Brentwood. and moved to like over by Pico, Pelham Manning over there. And we had a nice little house. It was cool with a backyard. We had the squirrel. You know, he was only like a year and a half. I didn't want him hanging out in Brentwood, you know.
In Brentwood, especially
Brentwood's
now.
starting
Yeah.
to get a little stimulated, you know. Brentwood looks like Westwood now, man.
Yeah. I hate Brentwood. And by the way, I mean, I'm in Santa Monica now, and I'm ready to move to the Palisades. I'm ready to go.
I don't know what's going on, man.
That's a whole other conversation.
Oh,
but wait,
I hand everybody a bucket with some soap and some scrubbages. Let's go, folks. The whole place.
Wait, let's go back. So you finished the show.
I finished the show. We're living in this house, and this happens. You know, we're there just like, I don't know, a couple of weeks or something. And then I think even before then, my mother passed away, and then I got hurt. My mother passed away. Yeah, and I flew back to New York, and that was what a nightmare. People
to go back home.
People taking pictures off the walls. You know, they're pulling up floorboards looking for money. Freaks.
So weird, right?
Like, holy shit! You people are not related to me, man. We're in a different.
It goes back to you reading the Emily Post manners and etiquette. Classy.
You know what?
You would never do that,
man. It's a rule book to life. It's not actually written, but it's a book, and it's a book of rules. And that book of rules is you open the door for people. You let people leave the restaurant before you enter it. Sometimes you even hold the door for them when they leave. Yep. It's just please and thank you. You know, hey, you need help with the bags. You know, hey, these days sometimes I see a woman that's just immaculately dressed, and I even say to them, am I allowed to say you look nice today? And they're like, yes, you certainly are. Well, you look very nice today. I've done it a ton of times because I admire somebody who's got their shit together, and they should hear it. People we should congratulate each other. We spend a lot of time kicking each other in the butt, and I think we should all congratulate each other, and for no apparent reason. Then it's just the right thing to do. You know?
I think that was one of the first things you said when you came on my show the first time. You know, back when we had just started, you had said that you liked that I'm trying to spread joy.
Yeah, that's all. Even when I'm being silly and I'm like goofing on you. I'm just loving up on you, man. I'm trying to teach you something.
I take it all.
No, like people in the street, like, you know, I see somebody and I'm like, dude, the shoes and the tie with the shoe, that's not working. You gotta lose the shoes. I've done it before. My wife's like, what the fuck? My wife's like, what's wrong with you?
Wait, who is your wife? Do I know your wife? I don't think I know your wife.
She's the best, man. She's the best.
I'm gonna have to.
She took on this.
Well, she took on you, so I love her already.
Congressional Medal of Honor.
But do I know her? I don't know her.
If you saw her, you'd probably go, I've seen her around because she was in Santa Monica, Brentwood.
She was in Brentwood all the time too?
Yeah, you used to see me sitting with her sometimes at the Bean or at the Rosti.
Oh, God.
Very, very pretty. Nice.
You know that BC Goto is gone, right?
Oh, yeah, now it's Yortinos, right?
I don't know what it is, but I was just driving there the other day.
It's the same people. It's just a different name. And the prices are more expensive.
Oh, is it good?
The son-in-law of the guy Ago, who owned it originally, and his family, they owned Toscana, they owned the Rostis, really? And then he sold the Rostis and the Toscana to Gioia Pizza. I don't know if they still own it anymore, but Rostis are gone. There was like 6 of them. I think there's only 2. I went to one on the 10th in Montana recently. It was awful.
Here in Santa Monica.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, let's go back to Hollywood. So you do love Hollywood. What is?
I love California. I love California.
Okay, I didn't say California. I'm talking about the industry. What is it that you love about Hollywood? Because
when you're working, there's nothing like it in the world.
So you're always trying to do. You're still writing right now, and you're still acting.
Never stop. I just finished the screenplay with the guy I was telling you about, Todd Newman, director, Morning Sun, Dave Navarro. Everybody see it. You'll love it. It's depressing as shit. If you feel like being depressed.
Wait, you already sold it?
Yeah, it's out. You can look it up.
What movie?
It's called Morning Sun, Mourning.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And it's about Dave Navarro. Believe me, it's like something out of like this is Dateline. I mean, it's crazy. They did interviews with the FBI profilers who was looking for this guy for like 11 years. He was on the run. He escaped. When they finally caught him, then they gave him the death penalty. I don't know if he's still alive or dead in
so don't hate me if I don't watch it, because that does sound depressing.
No, it's creepy, but it's more about him. It's more about mental health and drug addiction.
Maybe I will watch it.
And all of this stuff for trying to get your life together. The fact that guy has become as successful and been as creative as he is with all of that shit. That's why I respected him. I said to him once, I said, I feel a lot like you. I said, because we've both been put into unbelievable circumstances and somehow we've come out the other side.
You succeeded anyway.
We could still function. We have our demons, but we can still function. But like I said, to get back to it, when you when you do get the opportunity, like when I worked on Californication with Dave Duchovny.
David Duchovny. I love
David
him.
is a great guy. He's very funny. He has that kind of smarmy, sarcastic wit, but it's all bullshit because deep down he is a really nice person.
He is a sweetheart.
He is a sweetheart of a guy. Yes, he is. He's very
and he's very handsome.
If you see David Duchovny in the street, go up to him and give him a hug. You tell him Charlie said,
people will do it. Don't say that.
I'm telling you right now. If you see him in the street, tell him Charlie said I should give you a hug. Tell him it's optional, but Charlie said you need one.
It's optional.
I'm here to give it to you if you would like it. Nothing personal. He's a great guy. I had a lot of fun with him, and very silly. And then there's also I just saw him recently. I went to Ryan's memorial. It was a couple of weeks ago at the DGA. For O'Neill.
Yeah, but who did you saw David Duchovny there? No,
I ran into David Duchovny's sort of like weirdo, strange kind of doppelganger who I call Hart Bochner. Remember Hart Bochner from remember Die Hard?
Oh yeah, I'm not a big Die Hard fan.
You remember the movie Breaking Away? The famous movie with the bicycle race and Dennis.
Oh yeah, I do actually.
He plays the college smarmy kid with the handsome.
Oh, okay. God, you're such a name dropper, dude.
His father was a very famous actor in the original Point Blank with Lee Marvin and Angie Dickinson and Carol O'Connor. His father's name was Lloyd Bochner. His father did the Twilight Zone episode. It's to serve man as a cookbook.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Remember when he's going on the flying saucer and he finds out that the aliens are going to eat them? It's a famous one. It's called.
So here is where you and I are a little bit different. Like,
I love it.
I don't remember all this
with
stuff.
Trivia of movies and actors in it.
Not me.
I've been lucky. I got to meet a couple of greats. Like I got to meet Don Rickles. I got to meet Angie Dickinson and Army Archer. And one of the guys I really admired was Ryan's old agent. What the hell was his name? Why am I going blank? I'm having a senior moment.
I don't know. You want me to look it up?
His name was he produced the movie with Stallone in it, Victory, the soccer movie.
I don't know.
He's one of the producers.
Neil Hassman?
No,
that's
I know
his manager.
No, that's ages ago. No, it was called Victory with Stallone, and Pele was in the movie. This was his agent. What's his name? Fred?
Victory was the name of the movie?
Yeah, Victory. It's a famous movie with Stallone and Michael Caine and everybody.
And what did he do in the movie?
He was the producer of the film.
No, I'm not going to be able to find.
But he was a heavyweight agent.
Okay, wait.
And I really like this guy. I'm looking it up right now myself.
I'm trying to look it up too. I don't know. John Huston. No, that's directed by John Huston.
Victory.
Oh, Pele? See, I didn't see this.
Stallone.
Yeah, I see this, but I don't know who the producer is.
His name
Michael Caine, Pele, Bobby Moore.
Victory, Stallone movie.
Let me see if I can find it. I have the movie here, but I can't see who. Produced by Freddie Fields?
That's him.
Okay.
I meet him through Ryan. The guy lives in Beverly Hills. We immediately hit it off, this guy.
Okay.
I think when he looked at me, he saw Ryan at a younger age, but like a New York kind of kid,
Right.
I looked like Jimmy Dean, but I talked like a good fella,
Right, exactly. That is so true.
And I had a good memory and a good mind for films,
And you know what? You keep saying Ryan, and I keep forgetting that we're actually recording this and that it's going to be part of the podcast. We should mention it's Ryan O'Neill that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Not just Ryan.
Great, funny guy, absolutely insane, hysterical person.
One of your favorite people.
Godfather,
was he kind of your best friend?
My son. That's my son coming. He's creeping downstairs.
Is he going to say hi to me?
Was he going to say hi? Wait. Hey, Ryan, just lean over the railing and say hi.
Hi, how are you? Oh my God, he's not a little kid. How old is he?
He's going to be 16 April 2nd.
There's no way I'm that old. I'm sorry.
And Ryan was born on, O'Neill was born on April, I think it's April. What's the same? You want to laugh? It's the same day as Hitler.
Oh, I don't think that's funny.
And I used to tell him all the time.
Why would you do that?
I go, it makes sense. That was his godfather.
That's his godson, right?
Ryan did the whole ceremony. It's St. Martin of Tours in Brentwood with Father Donny. Donny. He's the greatest guy in the world. I see he's got saints. He was a painter, Father Donny, and there's saints paintings all around the church. And I see one in the back. There's some bars and barbed wire, and there's a guy and he's got numbers going. I said, Father Tony, who's this guy? I go there, St. Peter, St. Christopher. I get it. St. Vincent. Who's this? Oh, he's political prisoner being held against his will in Ireland. He's a saint. He's a saint, he is. I was like, okay. I was like, okay. Yeah. He was like, and he was like a little leprechaun. He was like 5'2". He was the nicest guy. But Ryan stood up there and did the whole thing with the baby and the water and and then the priest even said a prayer for Farrah at that time because she was sick at that time.
She was sick, right?
And it's funny because
I never met her. I never met her at all.
No, she was hysterical. So I call her up after this.
Okay, wait. We should probably say we're talking about Farrah Fawcett.
Fawcett, yes. Okay, the coolest chick, coolest knock-around girl ever. You had no idea. Tough, but coolest chick ever.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, just you know what? Inside and out. She had her moments just like anybody, but her and I got along real well. We had a good understanding, her and I. We had a bad incident, and then we became pals. So Ryan sends me, he calls me, Charlie, Ryan O'Neill. He used to call me up. He'd say, Charlie, Ryan O'Neill.
Ryan O'Neill.
Peyton Place, love story. Yeah, I go, yeah, dude, I know the movies. I seen him. Yeah. This is what he would say every time. He called me up at Christmas at my mother's. Charles, there's a guy on the phone. He says he's Ryan O'Neill. I go, Mom, that's Ryan O'Neill. She goes, get out. I go, Mom, it's Ryan O'Neill. He doesn't know you. Why would he know you? I go, Mom, he's on the phone, man. He's calling long distance. I go, you're holding the phone? She goes, hi, Ryan. It's me. It's Muriel. It's him and her for 20 minutes.
That's so funny. So wait, you were calling Farrah for what?
So I was calling Farrah. No, he called me and said, Farrah's going to be at the gym. Could you go over there, help her out? Because, the paparazzi maniacs, are you around? And Todd, my writing partner. He goes, just kind of float around, just in case so she can get in the car. He goes, and hang out with her in the gym. She needs some help. No problem, right? And I live like 3 blocks from the gym,
Right.
And I go over there and she's in the back. She's on the stairs. She's talking on the phone. And I can't tell who she's talking to, but she's fucking hot on the phone. She's going nuts. So one time she looks up at me and she goes, I said, Ryan told me to come by. He says, keep an eye on if you need some help, whatever. I don't need that help from anybody. She gave me the whole thing. I don't need no help from you. I don't need no help from anybody. And I went, what? I said, obviously you and I, we haven't had much time to talk to each other. I said, I'm not the usual person that Ryan hangs out with. I said, I don't give a flying fuck you, Farrah Fawcett. Used to be. That's what I said to her. Used to be. I said, fuck you.
I can't believe you would say that.
I said to fuck you. I came here to help you out to do the right thing. You're going to hammer me? I didn't fuck you up today. I didn't make you all pissed off. I said, whoever pissed you off and made you fucking yell at me, call that fucking asshole up and hammer them. I said, fuck you.
This is at the gym, at Pro Gym?
At the back, by the park.
At the back. Oh, my God.
They used to have the little stairs there?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
The Burger World was next door. And Vicenti's, the restaurant. And I walked away. So now I crossed, what street is that? That's Montana, I think. Right there.
It's Montana. Goshen?
No, it's like Gorham.
Gorham. It's Gorham.
Yeah. So
it's in the back, yeah.
I passed there. I'm walking down San Vicente, and I'm thinking to myself, fucking bitch. And I'm talking to the world. And people are like, oh, fucking Charlie's crazy, stay away. The whole neighborhood, what the fuck? Charlie, smoke one, I was like, fucking bitch, false Charlie Zanes. Fuck that show. The show was cheese anyhow. I'm saying to myself, all of a sudden, she pulls up. She's got the window down. Charlie. And she always used to sound like that. Charlie, will you get in the car? And I was like, Farrah, get the fuck out of here, man. Leave me alone. I go, you're such a dick. And she says to me, she goes, Charlie, please. I'm sorry. She goes, I'm talking to these idiots, and Redmond is just driving me absolutely batshit crazy. And I'm yelling at the whole world. She goes, no, you came down with me. You're not she goes like that. She goes, you're not a real person. You're like a different, you're not acting like everyone else. You're a different person. I go, yeah, that's fine. I'm on my own planet, Farrah. She goes, look, please don't tell Ryan. She goes, Ryan loves you like a brother. If he finds out, he'll fucking kill me. She goes, he'll grab me and he'll choke me. And I go, no, Farrah, I don't snitch. I said, right. You and me, we got off on the wrong foot. You're apologizing now. It's fucking over. Let's let it go. And now we start off new. Right. It's different now. So she says, come on. Let's get in the car. Let's go get some lunch. I said, okay. Where do you want to go? I said, I don't know. What about over here? I don't want to go there. So we did that for like 20 minutes, I want to go there. They're not nice to me. And they always give me a shit table. I said, all right, come with me. I brought her to Pizzicata. So now everybody's inside. So everybody's inside freaking out. Everybody's freaking out.
Wasn't it Pizzicoto? It wasn't Pizzicata.
I used to call it Pizzicatas. Pizzies. We used to call it Pizzi gyms.
When did she die?
No, the girl, Farrah died the same day
Oh,
as Michael Jackson.
2009. She died
Same
in
day.
2009.
Michael Jackson and her, same day.
That's right. She died in
I was there.
2009.
I was at the house the day she died. It was me, my boy Todd, and Ryan. And we were sitting out on the balcony, and she was in the other room. Ryan was with her, and he came out and he said, "That's it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit, buddy." And we were sitting on the balcony, and all of a sudden we saw all the news vans that were downstairs. We saw like half of them take off. And then my friend.
Oh, and you guys weren't sure why, but it was because Michael Jackson died the same
I got
day.
a phone call from my buddy Richie Crudo, who's the director of photography of Outside of Providence, American Pie, American Buffalo, good buddy. He calls me up. He goes, "Hey, Charles." I said, "What's up?" He goes, "Guess who just dropped dead?" I said, "Who?" He said, "Fucking Michael Jackson." I was like, "Holy shit." And Ryan, immediately, he didn't hear the conversation. He said, "Who died?" I said, "Michael Jackson." He goes, "Fucking great." He goes, "Now the whole thing's going to go over there and nobody's going to." I said, No. I said, "The freak show is going there." I said, "Hollywood is here."
Right.
I said, "Okay." I said, "What matters in this business? The only bit of class
that was
left in it."
heart-wrenching when she passed away.
I said to him, "The only bit of class left in this business is going to stay here with us and her." I said, "The nut house is going there." And sure enough, you saw that night what was going on out in front of
People are going to get mad at me if I don't say we don't hate Michael Jackson.
No, I don't hate the guy at all. I just knew the kind of freak show that was.
All the paparazzi and the crazy
and the
people.
looky-loos and the buses and the people from Missouri. We love you, Michael.
Right.
Nothing against people from Missouri.
Right.
But you can't say shit anymore, you know? It's not my choice. You went to live in the middle of nowhere. Come on.
No, but I forgot
months.
that it was the same day, but I knew it was like
2009. It was the same day. It was really freaky because I remember Richie was the first person to call me up, and I was like, "What happened?" He goes, "Yeah, what's his face croaked." He says that people are running in now like crazy. He says, "I've been hearing it." You know, that was insane too, and that was a travesty because who let him have access to all of that shit?
Well, that's a whole other conversation we don't need to talk about today. But here's my thing. So I love that you still love Hollywood, and
I love it. It's the work I love. It's the business of the business.
But it's the people. I think you don't like fake people anywhere. And here we find
I'm not the
many
Mr.
more.
Hey, I've been plenty full of shit in my day. But when it comes down to creativity and money and time, let's not fuck around. When the end result is making the best movie or TV show we can to appeal to people so they'll dig it and they'll want to see it. I don't think anybody was messing with Vince Gilligan when he was creating Breaking Bad. Holy shit. I love that show. Why? Because they offend everyone. They don't give a shit who you are. They say it like it is. I'm all for that. 20 years ago, I was telling people, watch, they're going to do Mexico, drugs, soap opera. Watch. And I was right. I knew it.
So are you working on the next big hit?
No. What I wrote something. I was plagued by a fairy tale in my head.
Okay.
I wanted to write something that me and my buddy Todd Newman, I told Todd, I said I had a dream about a little boy. Most of my best stuff comes to me when I'm sleeping or I'm walking. Yeah. Or when I'm walking around or I see a shit movie, but it gives me a thought for something else, you know? Okay. And I had this thing in my head about a little orphan boy and his horse, like the Black Stallion, who belonged to a Sicilian town during World War II, towards the end of the war. And they live right by the water, and their town comes under siege by a bunch of criminals masquerading as Nazis to rip people off as they're getting out of Italy. And they stop in this town and use the town to stash their stuff in the town bank while they wait for transport. This little boy knows, and this little boy is downtrodden. The whole town treats him like shit. He picks up the garbage for everybody, but that's how they feed him, and that's how him and his horse eat. And they're lovely, and the kid reads American comic books left over by GIs and people, and he fashions himself a fucking superhero like he's Superman, and he climbs all over the village and underneath the village in the catacombs, and he swoops down, and he has his horse pull strings and lift them up walls.
This is something that you're thinking about?
No, I already wrote it. It's called.
Oh my God! You said you were dreaming, and I was like,
we wrote.
So you wrote it.
The funny story is, so this is a story I had in my head almost 15 years ago. Wow. So it kept banging around in my head. No matter what else, we're writing a crime drama. I'm thinking the fucking kid. The horse pulls the string. He goes, and the kid never speaks in this movie. He never talks.
Really?
He never says a word. It's all in his face. He's like a Cinema Paradiso kid, you know, bicycle
Wow.
thief kid,
Yeah.
like a Truffaut movie, you
Like
know.
a-
To
yeah.
me, I wanted to. I
I love your accent when you say that.
you know.
Truffaut. Like,
Yeah,
it's
he was
just
the best,
awesome.
man. That guy was
Yeah.
the best, you know.
Best, amazing, best
Well,
director.
because you know what, you could see he put a camera on his shoulder and he just shot what he saw,
Yeah.
and he made everything.
So are you selling this script, or it's already been sold?
I'm
or-
trying to,
Yeah,
get it
okay.
out there, but people don't read. People are, Phil, give me the one-liner. Why don't you just fucking read it, you egghead?
Oh, that's right. Everybody wants kind of the
No,
summary.
they don't want to read it.
Yeah,
They don't
they
want to
want
read.
the
They
coverage.
don't want to
Yeah.
read. They're going to make $1 million decisions based on some guy who gets $35, $40 a script to read scripts to write 3 pages of a synopsis and what his recommendations are. Some
3
frustrated
pages. Like a page.
some frustrated writer who's reading your shit and going, "Fuck, I didn't write this,"
Right.
But
But why is it so hard to read a script? The script isn't that
agents
long.
don't even read scripts. You can't even
Yeah,
get
they
an
don't.
agent to read a script for 3 months. They
Yeah.
don't even want to know you. If you're not an instant sale, they don't want to know you. Now, if I walk down the street in Malibu one day and going to get a cup of coffee, and I drop my coffee all over Mel Gibson, and I happen to have a script in my hand, which nobody reads paper scripts anymore. So if I happen to have a script in my hand and it slams on and we hit the ground and he's like shit and he's looking at a page, and then all of a sudden he's sitting there and I'm still drinking my coffee and he's looking at another page and he goes, "Hey, I go, okay, keep going."
Right.
This is the only way shit happens anymore.
Yeah.
Or if I had $5 million to make this movie, everybody's mama would come to me then. They'd say, "Charlie, we'll match it. We got 5.
Right.
You got to make the first move in this business. You got to write it. You got to direct it. You got to see it all the way through. Or you got to hope that a star somehow is like
Somebody who
in the
has that
house.
kind of power will see it.
Well, you're hoping that he's sitting in the house on the holidays. He's gotten bored with being around his fucking family for Christmas or Thanksgiving. And he's just looking. He's saying, "I've already got the Oscars. I've already got the accolades. I've already made some great films. I've made some successful films. I've made some movies that have made a ton of money. And I've made 2 that got me the house and everything else from the shit movies that I got paid crazy money for." And you're hoping he's saying, I just want one. I just want to find one thing, and I want to see it through because I got the juice now. I want to see it through from the beginning to the end. And if I fuck up, I fuck up on my own merits, and I have nobody else to blame. It was the screenwriter. It was the director. It was this one. No, it's you, man. All you. So I like Bradley Cooper. I got to give it to him.
Did you see Maestro?
I haven't seen. I'm gonna look. Yeah, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna see. I'm waiting till I get like one day I can watch that.
But
And
Charlie, you can watch it. I mean, you're SAG.
I don't even have to. I saw a few clips and I saw what he was doing. He's not acting anymore. He's the guy. That's it. He's the guy. You know what
Charlie,
I mean?
let me tell you, I'm so glad you just said that because I was going to ask you what you thought of the latest movies. But let me tell you, Maestro, I went and saw it here in the Palisades. There was nobody that was like, I was crying. It was so good. First of all, I love Leonard Bernstein, but it was so beautifully done. He did such a great job.
So to get back to Luca.
Go ahead.
Luca he realizes they're probably going to kill everybody in the town before they leave. He's thinking,
is Luca the name of the little kid?
Yeah.
You just said that for the first time. Okay, so
no, the name of the script is called Luca the Magnificent, and he is Luca.
Okay, that's Luca. Okay.
And the backstory why he's been treated this bad is he was in a steeplechase, and he represented the town, him and the horse, and they fucking lost at the last moment because he pulled his reins up. A little girl ran in front of the horse, and they were winning. So the whole town lost their fortune based on this kid.
Okay.
And now this is his situation. And he lives out by the beach, and he lives in the catacombs. It's the only place he can find some shelter. And he sees what's going to happen here. And he decides, as he goes through the catacombs, he notices, he's looking through the sewers, he sees the church and the bank are in direct line with the catacombs. He thinks maybe if I could dig a hole from down here, under the church, into the bank, I could steal their stuff out of the vault. And before they get to leave, I could tell them, "You want these 2 sticks of gold? Give me 2 people, let them leave the town." He's going to barter with lives and their treasure. "You want your painting? Give me those 3 women, let them go." This is what he's thinking in his brain. But what ends up happening is slowly but surely, the whole fucking town is in on this. They're in the hole. They're playing music. Every time they're playing music in the streets, everybody's digging. Every time the Nazis come over, they stop.
Wow.
They stop and everybody stops digging. They got people now, but what happens is, as they start digging under the church, the statues of the Virgin Mary and Jesus start to shake. People, I can walk. I can see. I can look at my hair.
This is good.
Look at my hair is growing. Look, and people are coming from all over other villages. They're hearing about it. This is not good for the Nazis. They're freaking out.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're getting under there. The American army is 30 miles away. Luke is trying to stall them. They're trying to wait for their right. They got the townspeople building a boat for them to get the hell out of town.
Right.
They have the women doing it because there's mostly women, because all the men are up in the hills. Luca goes to find the men up in the hills, and they're up there, and they're talking about Luca's plan of, to help him. It's like madcap, hysterical and chilling and terrible.
How does it end? Do I need to?
When it ends, the Nazis come rolling into town. Luca is on his horse racing for the Americans while they don't know who he is and start shelling him. Him and the horse hit the dirt a few times. They get up. At some point in the beginning of the movie, he helps an American soldier. When the American soldier leaves, he leaves him a Yankee cap. Luca, when he falls down with the horse, he throws the cap on. You see a guy, look, he sees the Yankee cap. He's like, whoa, stop. Meanwhile, the Nazis throw down on everybody in the church for their stuff, right? They're getting ready to shoot everybody for their stuff. All of a sudden, the statues start to shake. But everybody's looking at everybody because they know there's no one in the tunnel. There's no one there.
Oh, wow.
And then all of a sudden you see the soldiers. A lot of them are young. They don't want to do this. They see the statues. They drop their weapons. The guys are screaming. They're walking out. Some of them come out to the street. The people come out into the street. And there he is with his horse.
Right.
And all of a sudden you see the tanks coming over the hills. He's got the whole U.S. Army with him.
This is done. You're trying to sell this now. It took you 15 years to develop this.
What happened was
researching
I brought it to Todd. Todd and I started writing. We got about 60 pages in, and then all of a sudden Todd got married and had a kid, and his kid's name is Luca. And then he had another kid, and his daughter's name is Lola. And then I got married, and then I had a kid, and his name is, hey, Ryan, what do you think we should name the kid? His name is Ryan. That's it. Whether it's a boy or a girl, it's Ryan. Fuck. What are you even asking for? I was like, all right, whatever, man. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
your wife had nothing to say about it.
I was like, Farrah, you want to be my son's godmother? And she was like, Charlie, I've never been anybody's godmom before. I said, well, you are now.
Oh, I didn't know Farrah was his godmother.
Yeah, and she was sick, so she calls me back 5 minutes later. She's sick as all outdoors. She calls me back 5 minutes later. She goes, Charlie, Farrah Fawcett. I go, yeah, I know.
Is this how the two of them talked all the time?
Awesome. They love to tease me all the time. So I was like, yeah. She goes, Charlie, can we change the baby's name to Ryan Brooks Farrah Mattera? I said, whatever you want. Whatever you want, man. She goes, I got his picture right next to the bed, right here. And there it was, right next to the bed. Like, if you ever see that special with her and Redmond comes in the room, it's awful. You could see there's a baby's picture on the table. That's him upstairs.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so Luca the Magnificent is written. It's a full written.
It's written. You're just trying to sell it now.
After that happens, let me set it up. In the beginning of this movie, a little boy is on a train, and his name is Luca, and he's the great-grandson and they're going back to Italy with this woman he married who was from this village, who was a little girl when Luca was alive. She's bringing his coffin back to the village where he comes from to be buried, the original Luca.
Oh, okay.
When they come into town on the station, the whole fucking town. So you see all these old people, but you get to see them as young people when we go back and tell the story.
When we go back and watch, right?
So when they get off the train, when they see people are holding pictures of Luca in the air, of him, and the little boy goes, Grandma, why do they have pictures of me? She goes, that's not you. That's your great grandpa. That's Luca. He looks just like me. She goes, yes, he does. The people see the kid. They seize the kid. They pick him up in the air. They carry him over the crowd. They actually put him on a horse. The whole place is going nuts. And later that night, the kid asks her. He says, "What? Why? What happened here?" And she says, "Get some sleep. I'll tell you."
And that's the story.
She wakes him up in the morning, and she starts to tell him the story. But at the end of the story, these Nazis had gold. They stole all the gold from them. But in this church was a black cross. And when the light hits it at a certain time, you could see their bricks. So at the end of this movie, she brings him into the church and he says, what happened to the treasure? All the treasure that they took from the Nazis. She said, look around the church. She said, you see these paintings? We always hoped that over the years, people would come here and they would look and see if something belonged to their family. And if it did, we would give it to them. We would give it back to them and they would take it back to where it belonged. She goes, over the years, people have come. She goes, and and they've celebrated with us the life that some of these people did live.
Right.
She goes, and he goes, and she's a Jewish girl, because there's also a thing when he goes in the catacombs, he finds
Right.
40 Jewish people in the catacombs with crosses on.
Okay.
And he's feeding them every day. This is even before the Nazis show up. So when the Nazis show up, he's
You know this is going to be on a podcast, right? And live streamed, right?
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
I don't want your whole story out there. Like,
Well, you know, he can steal. It's copywritten, and you couldn't fucking pull
Right.
this off the way we
no,
did.
no,
It's
I'm just saying,
impossible.
I'm just letting you know.
So
what
at
I'm-
the end of this, she basically brings him into the church, and there's all this stained glass, and she shows him the black cross, and she takes a chair, and she goes over there, and she dusts off the center of the cross,
That's
and she takes
gold.
off her necklace, has a Jewish star, and it fits right in the cross. So
Wait, and the cross is where all the gold
it's
is,
all the
right?
gold.
See,
It's still
I knew that
there.
was happening. See, I'm all invested now.
And
I'm all invested.
when they leave the church, and the credits are rolling, and all you see is the church, you see the statue go
Oh, that's so
a
cool.
little bit. You wonder, did it just shake? So we don't know. Was it a miracle or wasn't it?
I think that's awesome.
That's
so
the thing.
now-
We finished it like about a year and a half ago, and we've been
and now you're
racking our
just
brains.
chopping it around.
Let me tell you something. When we finished this, him and I, we were crying like babies when we wrote this. When we reread it, because it
wow.
was fucking nails. We didn't miss anything. We kept
Right.
it going and moving. And you just hope it gets in the hands of the right person. I mean,
Well, maybe it will.
I'd like
think
to
it
see
will.
this
I
thing
think it
get-
will.
I'd like to see this thing get made.
Okay, wait. So I'm gonna end this. Don't hang up though, because you and I can keep talking. But I'm just really glad that we did this. I am cracking up because I could talk to you for like 4 more hours.
Yes,
I could
you
just
could.
listen to the stories. It'd be so easy to do.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.